Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the new Ultimate Universe that Marvel kicked off back in January. This happened after the Ultimate Invasion event concluded, in which the maker created his own universe that he has full control over. Some of the books in the series are Ultimate Spider-Man, Black Panther, X-Men, and the Ultimates, but so far I've only been able to read Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimates as I haven't had much time to get into Black Panther or X-Men yet. So this video will primarily be covering those two books, along with some of the side books. Before I get into the video, if you like what you see, make sure to drop a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Starting with the event that kicked it all off, Ultimate Invasion tells a story where the maker creates his own Ultimate Universe, without any heroes to interfere with his schemes. He accomplishes this by changing the origins of many known heroes, like Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, and even makes Latveria his own, and dubs it the City. Howard Stark is invited to an event at the City, where he meets with multiple world powers, such as the Rasputin family and the Harada Yoshida Alliance, and he joins the Maker's Council. After attending the event, Stark realizes the true depths of the Maker's plan, a world where he alone controls everything. Later, he's brought by the Maker to create a present version of the Immortus Engine, which is a device that allows the Maker to alter the timeline to his content, alongside a captive Reed Richards, who in this universe became Doom. Reed gives more insight to Stark on the Maker's manipulative actions, and that the Maker is using the both of them to get what he wants. After that, they agree to sabotage the Immortus Engine and stop the Maker. Stark lowers the shield on the city, allowing for a king from the future and his army of heroes to attack the Maker. As their armies continue fighting, Stark seizes the opportunity and delivers a critical blow to the Immortus Engine, disabling the damper on the Immortus Engine, which leads to an explosion killing many people. Reed gives Howard's son, Tony, a letter written by Howard as a final message before passing away. This was an interesting book, as it gives way to a promising overarching storyline that the Ultimate Universe is continuing so far, but at times I found myself kind of confused with the book as a whole. It's an interesting premise in the sense that I'm excited to see what's coming in the future, but I feel like this was kind of a bland way to start things off. I will say though, I've enjoyed the next two books a lot more. The next book I want to talk about is the brand new Ultimate Spider-Man run. So far, I love the book. It's leagues better than the garbage that the Amazing Spider-Man run is so far.
Get that shit out of here!
What's wrong with you?
We've seen Peter start out as a young teenager, becoming Spider-Man, but the twist that I love in this book is that we get to see what a grown Peter Parker with a wife and children does when he gets the opportunity to become the hero he never was. It's a new take on the character I haven't seen done before, and it's played out really well. Despite being older, Peter Parker still feels like the character we've always known. He's funny and makes quips without looking like an awkward adult man with the character of a high schooler. 616 Spider-Man. Harry Osborn's character is pretty interesting too, and one of my favorites so far. He's not Peter's childhood friend, but instead a vigilante just like Spider-Man, going under the name Green Goblin. They meet each other for the first time after taking down Bullseye, and they reveal each other's identities. Both characters have a lot in common, as they both lost people they cared about, and they both have tech-powered suits. The way the story sets these two characters up is interesting so far, and I feel like we might see Harry going down a darker path, as he seems mostly fueled by revenge for his parents' deaths, while Peter seems more focused on balancing his life with his powers and family. My favorite moment from this book so far is when Harry quotes, "With great power comes great responsibility," when he talks to Peter about the people at the top playing God and how it's their duty to save the world. It's a great use of the line in a different context. I don't have too much to say about the villains we've seen so far, as much hasn't been done with them yet, and we've just been introduced to a bunch of them in issue 8. Overall, the book has an interesting premise, and there's a lot of potential with the characters we've seen, and I'm really excited to see where they take this story in the future, especially the relationship between Harry and Peter. The last book I want to talk about in this video today is the new Ultimates run, which first dropped back in June. There's only been 4 issues so far, but there's a few things I want to discuss. This book feels like the biggest one out of them all, as it seems to be building up a showdown with the Maker in the near future. Though, there are aspects that have left me confused, specifically with Thor and Lady Sif, who both decide to believe Iron Lad and Doom immediately in Ultimate Universe issue 1. In my opinion, It was too fast and felt like a rush way to get Thor and Sif on the team, especially Lady Sif considering her energy toward Thor earlier in that book. Also, this nitpick might be dumb, but I think the name Iron Lad is kinda stupid. I don't know why, I just really don't like it. Especially considering this is Tony Stark, who is the Iron Man. I get his father is Iron Man in this universe, but really? Iron Lad? That's a dumb name. Besides those issues I have, I actually really like the rest of the series. I think the explosion at the event that Tony Stark was blamed for is going to be a really interesting story element that Tony will have to face, especially when meeting people whose friends and families were involved in it. I also really think Tony Stark in this universe is cool too, as I've always wanted to see more stories with a younger Tony, ever since Armored Adventures back in the day, and tying him in a story with an Avengers-like team is all I could ever ask for. Doom's character is also a refreshing take on Reed Richards, which basically isolates him from the Fantastic Four and to someone who's clearly hid his pain away, but all of his efforts are to bring his team back as well as stop the Maker, which is evident in issue 4, which goes more in depth with Doom Reed's sad origin. I am happy they didn't use his trauma to make him to a villain, but we also have the Maker, who's essentially evil Reed. Tony and Reed are my favorite characters in this series, as they've been given the most attention so far and are really interesting. Also, tonal shift, but I think Hank and Janet running a pest control company before becoming heroes is kind of hilarious. And those are my thoughts on the Ultimate Universe so far, particularly Spider-Man and the Ultimates. I'm definitely going to try to give Black Panther and X-Men a chance when I'm more free, as I've been busy keeping up with college while also writing my next videos, so I haven't had the time yet to invest in those books. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I know this is a very different video compared to my first two, but I love comics and manga, and I'm going to be making more videos about them in the future, as well as more gaming content. I also have a Discord server you guys can join in the description below, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And also use code MANDO in the Fortnite shop if you want to support me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.